Hey everybody, Old Guy Jam here. I'm going to talk about the Marshall DSL HR today. It's a great amp actually. I had a DSL 40 a year ago or so. It was too big for what I do, and by the time I got it loud enough to where it sounded really good, it was way too loud. So I took it back, but I loved the Marshall clean tones. I think they're really clean. I've heard kind of the rumor is, or the urban legend, I guess, is that Marshall cleans aren't really clean. Maybe if you're comparing it to something else, I guess that could be true. But I think they're really shimmery and bright, glassy. So I really liked that about the Marshall and wanted to get some of that back in my house. And so I was excited about this DSL 20, lower volume. Also, an issue with the previous models was they share an EQ, which they still do, but in the past, switching between, it was really hard to find a nice tone between the clean channel and the dirty channel. I always felt like I had to re-EQ it every time I switched channels, which was too annoying to deal with. You don't want to have to deal with that. And that's been fixed. I'm really happy with the difference in the two channels. I can find several good tones with the tone shift in or out. I can find a lot of really pleasing tones with this Marshall. A lot of the high-end spikiness has been taken out as well. The gain structure on the ultra gain channels starts from practically nothing and moves really nice and smoothly up to where it's useless, which is what I like. I like to find an area that it's useless, and that allows me to decide where I want to end it rather than having the amp decide where the gain is going to stop or where the gain is going to start. I like to find uselessness on both sides of my knob. Too low, too much. Somewhere in there, it lets me decide what's right for me. I'm not going to review the tones on the amp. They are great. Anybody looking to get some good tones will love it. It does drop tunings excellently. It does crunch really good, but there are some issues. So I wanted to highlight that before you went out and bought one. All right, so I'm going to be putting something on the looper, and I'm going to show you the problem I have with this is that when you do use a looper, if you record something on the clean channel and then want to lead over it with the dirty channel, the volume drops out to whatever the volume is on the lead channel, regardless of the gain. Is that confusing? Well, you'll see what I'm talking about, but the loop volume totally drops out. I don't know if it's because we have a series loop, a buffered loop, a parallel loop, unbuffered loop. I don't know about those things, but there's no other way to hook it up. The effects loop is in and out. There's nothing else back there to change. So I think it's just because of where they designed the loop into the circuitry, whether it's preamp, before the preamp, between the preamp and the output. I don't know. But for me, it's a serious flaw. And then the second thing, in the classic gain side, or the clean channel, as you turn the gain up, the treble rolls off the tone for some reason. So you have a nice bright clean channel, but as you turn the gain up, it's like somebody threw a blanket over your cab, which is no good to me. The reverb's great. Everything else about it, I think is really super nice. I would like to have one, but it's going to drive me nuts. All right, so here we go. We'll put you back over here, and we'll record a little clean deal through. And since everybody else on the internet is playing the PRS, I decided these days it seems like no matter where you go, people are playing PRSs. So because of that, I'll play my PRS too. And throw you some tones. Here we go, a little bit of clean. Switch over for some lead. See what happened? So I'll turn the looper off again. Back to that clean, which is really nice. Whether you split. Or in full humbucker mode. Really nice cleans, but we're not here to do that. So that's a big flaw. Now, what if I wanted to do a crunch on this lead, or a classic gain channel? So I've got my MXR Badass up there, and what if we rolled? Same thing. Now I want to lead over that again. With something. Alright. And that's so, you know, a lot of time you have a pedal on the clean channel for a particular tone and want to switch over to the hot channel for lead. But if you're looping, playing for fun, writing or practicing, it's not ever going to work, which is a real drag because I love the tones in the amp. It's got some great crunch, almost plexi type stuff, but I think that's a downfall. The clean or the dirty. Really like it. Now the clean over here, so volume is set. We have a nice shimmery tone. Turn that badass off. If you want to develop a crunch on this side, drop the volume a little bit, increase the gain. More gain. It's getting muffled. That was a disappointment too, because now I feel like I need to re-EQ for that, for any kind of decent crunch, because I've lost all my treble, which was present in the beginning. Nice and shimmery. Which isn't a deal breaker, but the effects loop sure is, because really what I wanted was a nice clean channel, which it has, and lots of headroom. So do I need to have to get a crunch out of the same channel? No, I don't have to, but I've never been real tickled with the idea of an effects loop turning, or the switch, the foot switch turning the effects loop on and off. I would rather have an extra switch to turn the reverb on and off, or to boost something somewhere to add some crunch, as well as going between two channels. But I don't know why you want the effects loop turned on and off when I can do it from my pedal board. I'm never going to have my effects loop pedals further away from me than my whole pedal board. The foot switch cord is about 12 feet long anyway, so you know, I can buy two 12-foot cords and be the same distance away from my amp with my entire pedal board. I'm not going to have just a reverb or just a delay that's on all the time in the effects loop sitting on top of the amp or something. I'm always going to want to turn any kind of reverb or delay off anyway. So the idea of turning an effects loop on and off is not something I'm too interested in. Anyway, kind of disappointed, really sad, because I like what it does. But I did want everybody to know that you're going to run into that problem with the effects loop. All right, so go out and buy it if that's not a big deal, but if that is a big deal to you, make sure you check it out or buy it from someplace that allows you to return it without too much hassle. All right, this has been an old guy jamming. We'll be back with more later.